guys, welcome back to another episode of Weekly Tales. Well, in this story, in this episode, we shall be discussing the story of Regulus, the Fatal Promise. So let us get started. Carthage was Rome's most dangerous enemy, a rival for control of the Mediterranean, which the Romans liked to call our sea. They were a match for each other. If Rome had the more formidable land forces, then Carthage had by far the greater sea power. Carthage had been founded by the Phoenicians, a Punic race of seafaring traders, and the Carthaginians had inherited their shipbuilding and seagoing skills. Originally, Rome was little concerned about Carthage because Carthage seemed too far away in Africa to be a serious threat. However, as the Carthaginians built up trade all along the Mediterranean shores of Europe and accumulated colonies of their own, the Romans grew worried. When Carthage invaded the island of Sicily, which lay so close to the southern point of Italy, Rome became alarmed. It was an easy crossing, too easy. The position of Sicily by Carthage could not be tolerated. To recapture the island required not only a considerable army, which Rome could quickly raise, but a fleet mighty enough to challenge the Carthaginian navy. This Rome did not have. It was not long before Rome engaged upon a frantic program of shipbuilding all warships. She had much to learn, for her boats had always been small and slow, mainly merchant vessels with single decks and no striking power. Taking as a model the solidly built and extremely fast the Carthaginian ships that had 3 and sometimes 5 decks, with 3 to 5 tiers of rowers on each side, Rome accumulated an imposing fleet. The Carthaginian sailors had learned many tricks of crippling their opponents. One of them was to have a ship row swiftly toward an enemy ship, and then I'm laying down on a couch now. Suddenly thrust along the side of the vessel, breaking all the oars on that side. This left the enemy ship helpless and easy to capture, even if it did not overturn. The Romans improved upon this device. To the prow of their ships, they attached a wooden board that was actually a gangplank that could be swung about by means of pulleys. The underside of the board had a concealed iron spike at the end, whose point could be dropped with great force. When the Roman ship grew near its adversary, the board would be dropped, the spike jammed into the enemy's deck, and, using the plank as a kind of bridge, the soldiers would swarm aboard. The Romans waited until they had 100 vessels. Then, one of the consuls was put in command. A note of defiance was sent to Sicily, and the First Punic War, the first of a long series, began. The only victories went to the Carthaginians. The inexperienced Roman sailors were outwitted. The ships were often blockaded and the crews demoralized. After a while, the fortunes of war shifted. Sometimes they veered in favor of the Romans, sometimes of the Carthaginians. The struggle dragged on. In the 9th year of the war, Regulus was made commander of the Roman sea and land forces, a brave general, hero of many battles. He was a man of unusual character. He never made a promise that he could not keep. and he had never broken his word. Since the Carthaginians were better at naval battle, he decided to attack them on land from their own country. He landed at North Africa and proceeded to march toward the capital city. His troops, however, were ambushed, and in the battle that followed, the Romans were disastrous as they began. Regulus was taken prisoner. The Carthaginians would rejoice at this victory, but on other fronts they were losing ground to the Romans. It was decided that emissaries should be sent to Rome to negotiate certain peace terms. They called in Regulus, to whom they made no mention of Roman successes. On the contrary, they told him that things were going so bad, that things were going badly in Italy. He had not he was not deceived, but he said nothing. We are willing to let you go to Rome with our emissaries, the other said, but you go on one condition. If Rome accepts our proposals, you are free to remain there. But if our terms are rejected, you must swear to return here as our prisoner. I accept the condition, but I do not need to swear. Replied Regulus, you have my word. That is enough. Knowing his reputation, let him go. I'm sorry. When Regulus arrived in Rome, he was greeted by cheering crowds who escorted him to the Senate, but he shrugged them off. I am no returning hero, he said. I am not even a Roman soldier. I come as a Carthaginian prisoner. I have been sent to give a report. After that we will see. The emissaries from Carthage made their proposals. Their terms, that they said, were hard but fair, for the Romans must realize that they were sure to be defeated in the end. They looked to Regulus for confirmation. Then Regulus spoke. Do not listen to them. Do not accept their terms. They are humiliating and would only encourage the other enemies of Rome. It is true that Carthage is strong, but it is not true that Carthage is invincible. Do not surrender, but pursue the war to the end. Rome was not built to be destroyed by African marauders. I have given my word to return to Carthage, but I did not promise to tell a lie. I have said what I know is the truth. Now send me back. The senators would not hear of it. They were even willing to accept the terms rather than have Regulus return to Carthage, and what they knew would be his death. Let us defy them, they argued. At least let us send another man in your place. But Regulus could not be dissuaded. I have given my word. He said, I cannot break it. I must return. The emissaries were speechless with anger. They turned their backs upon him. Regulus was kept in chains until he reached Carthage. The chains were still on his hands when, because the Romans had rejected their terms, the Carthaginians struck off his head. Okay, so that is the end of today's story. So I'm trying to think about something. So I'm thinking, so tomorrow, being Saturday, I am coming back from my trip, and I'm trying to think, so I will probably be leaving around noon, So I may or may not have another episode out, but actually, how long is this next story? Because I know I haven't done many weekly tales lately, have I? Alright, yeah, so this is gonna be it for today's video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. And I shall see you guys in the next one.